Hello and welcome back to another vlog. Today I went to Oxford. It was pretty rainy on the way there, but the best remedy to rainy weather is a nice warm coffee and a pastry. Went to Waterstones and found a Latin version of The Hobbit and just walked around for a little bit. Eventually stumbled across the Blackwells and found a Dalek and had some fun with it, being a bit weird and goofy, but that's the Doctor Who in you. Took some pictures and some videos around, and Mr. Ben McAvoy, if you guys are familiar with him, he recommended Blackwell's to me, so I decided to go into Blackwell's, and well, I certainly wasn't disappointed with the selection or the size of the store. I was lost, confused, and my bank account was hurting from the purchases, but that can be remedied with hard work. After that little excursion, I decided to walk around Oxford a little bit more and try to find Oriel College, which is where Ben did his study. Since I thought that'd be kind of neat, and I just walked around for a bit. There were quite a few people, and I didn't really know what else to do. Just walking around, filming, and Oxford is just an incredibly beautiful city. The university is quite beautiful as well. You wouldn't be disappointed by it if you made a side trip to it. It's only an hour from London, an hour and a half, 2 hours, depending on if you take a train or a bus. And I took a coach, which is a bus for the Americans who are watching. This is part of the library, the Bodleian Library. Then I walked around and just decided to take some nice pictures. And yeah. Well, Ben, if you're watching this, I'm at your alma mater, and it is quite beautiful. Man, I'm a bit envious I got to study English literature here and language. It's pretty cool. So yeah, Ben, if you're watching, hi. I really enjoyed Oxford. It's quite beautiful. But here is a picture of the chapel that's there. This chapel is quite old. There's a lot of photos that they had of it over the years, over the few centuries. But a church has always stood on this site, as you'll see in the next picture right there on the plaque. A church has stood on that site for over 1,000 years, and this is part of the Bodleian Library, and Oriel College was closed. So I went down the Dead Man's Trail, Dead Man's Path. I don't remember what it's called off the top of my head. It was a nice, refreshing, natural pavement, or not natural pavement, but nature walk that I enjoyed. There were people, who were there too, walking around. It started getting a little drizzly right there, but I'm quite pleased with my camera that it was able to capture the greenery of the grass, because it was that green. And I walked over to the botanical garden and took some pictures of a couple of flowers. I didn't pay to enter, I just took some pictures of what was out there for free. Then I decided to walk back, and then we decided to meet at the Turf Tavern, or the Turf as it's called, and I had a cider, Weston cider. It was quite nice. Then I made my way back and got a copy of Chris Broad's new book. Then, I had a little adventure at Hatchard's, which was quite beautiful, a very beautiful bookstore. I highly recommend anyone who loves nice bookstores to go there. It was founded in 1797, so it's quite an old bookstore. The next day, we went to Rochester Castle and Cathedral, and then we also went to Dover, but that'll be a little bit further in. As you can see, the castle is, incredible. I was very surprised to see that it was still standing, to be quite honest, that it's held up so well, and Will was waving that. Then we can see some more of just the castle. There's really not much to it. It all looks like this. It's not like there's a lot of interior, but you can see where certain parts and certain places would have been. High up, it was quite a tall castle. It was very windy that day, so I had to take my hat off. You'll be able to see parts of the wind throughout these some of these clips. It was incredible. There's a little nest over there where we found some bones of some pigeons, because the crows are mean and will kill pigeons. So yeah, but this castle was quite impressive. My fear of heights was kicking in quite a lot, so kudos to myself for being able to look over the edge and do what I needed to do for this, because it was not easy. As you can see, the stone has held up quite well. I don't think they're doing any renovation work right now, but it is a incredible castle. I think Cromwell did something to this, but I don't remember. I didn't really pay attention to some of the history signs. Not because I didn't read them, but because I knew that I needed to get footage, and we were all just kind of going in together. We were, and yeah, so this was an impressive castle nonetheless. The wind started picking up again, which is always fun. And I decided that I just need to get you guys some good angles of what the view looked like. We were pretty high up. I don't remember how high up we were, but we were pretty high up. And here is the cathedral. It was quite beautiful, and I took some nice images of the castle and the surrounding area. Went to Rochester Cathedral, which is the second oldest cathedral in England. It was quite beautiful. I mean, like most of the cathedrals we've been to, there's always been something interesting to see. The thing that distinguished this from other cathedrals was that they had a cafe in the crypt. So for lunch, we all ate in the cafe in the crypt, and it was a bit weird to be eating with essentially dead people. What made it a bit more awkward was the fact that a lot of the people around us were elderly, so I hope that wasn't taken in offense. We also found what Tiny Tim did, and we've also found Jeremy Clarkson, so that was fun. After that, we went to Dover Castle, which Dover Castle has a deep history. Used in the Second World War. It was also used by royals. A couple of the Henrys and such. It was incredibly well preserved. They had a lot of different historical performances going on at the time for children, things like that. And of course, we had to get our group photo at the gate, which was always fun. We approached the castle and we got to see some of the inside parts of the castle over the drawbridge, and going inside, as you can see, it's held up incredibly well. I mean, part of that's also just maintenance and such. The steps were a bit tricky. Like most older castles, there isn't a building code or anything like that, so the steps are a bit weathered and a bit uneven. So be careful if you ever go up these steps. Inside, you can see more of the dining. There's that little area right there where they were doing a display for the children. This was the well, which was incredibly deep. I don't even see the bottom of the well. Dr. Quinn showed that to me. Then I decided to cut out all the filming that I did of going up the stairs because I got pretty monotonous. So here I am at the top, and again, my fear of heights kicked in. So I took a picture of the flag waving and around the surroundings. Then I went to the bottom, found the cannon, took a picture with the cannon. Here's part of some more of the castle. We all decided to take a picture. That's a Roman watchtower or lighthouse, and this is kind of the surrounding area by the lighthouse. Paige was shocked that I was filming. It's kind of funny. That was a cathedral right there, right by the lighthouse. It was pretty nice. Lighthouse didn't have much to it, as you can see, pretty bare bone, but it was left by the Romans, which is, incredible. Then here we are taking another group picture. It was very windy, as you can tell. We were all goofing off, having fun, and as you can see, there will be something fun for you to watch.
3. Canton's just down.
Now isn't that a bunch of fun? And here I am doing L, and they just took some pictures of me rolling around. This is the inside of the cathedral, and then we went to the cliffs of Dover, so to speak. We got to see them from afar. Went on the rockiest beach I've ever been to, but it was nice. The water was cool, and I got to wade in a little bit and took some nice little videos or some pictures of the cliffs. And this is some of the footage, and we went to go eat at a pizza place. It was really nice, really good. Next day we went to the Tower of London and we saw John Wick. There's the Tower Bridge, which is quite nice. Tower of London was an incredible experience. A lot of history. I really felt bad for the two princes. That was by far the darkest. The Beefeater was really funny. He liked us Americans and got into a debate with the Arkansans as to whether it's Arkansas or Arkansas, and it was quite funny. It was quite funny. Near the end of the tour, he said, "I got one thing to say to you Arkansans. Woo pig suey. He said it quite loud. We all laughed. We went to the Crown Jewels, and after that we decided to leave, and I just took a picture by Tower Bridge. That's not Photoshop, by the way. Went to Notting Hill Market, and on our way back we could see how flooded it was near the station that we were at, which is Houston Station. We were a bit surprised. The next day we went to Windsor, enjoyed that, and here's the band. Now, wasn't that a lovely surprise? Because it certainly was for us. As you can see, Windsor Castle was quite nice. Unfortunately, I didn't get to take any pictures or videos of the inside because it is a private residence and they have strict rules for that. But we got to enjoy the views. So I recommend that if you want to see what's on the inside of the castle, certainly book a ticket and visit. I definitely recommend booking tickets in advance because the general admission, there's no guarantee that you'll actually get a spot. So here's some of the gardens and such, and then we went over to St. George's Chapel, which is where I saw the burial of Her Late Majesty the Queen, and we had to do the typical London thing. The next day we went to Westminster Abbey, and well, Westminster did not disappoint at all. I couldn't take any videos, unfortunately, when we got into the main part of the Abbey, but I got to take some videos on the inside of the cloister areas and such. So here's just some of the pictures. That's the footage of what the original chapel where the monks would have been. This is Britain's oldest door, and then this is kind of an inside view of one of the chapter areas, which was quite nice. So when we went to the main part of the cathedral, you can see the coronation chair, and then the first portrait of a royal, which is Richard II, and this plaque dedicated to the warrior of Britain, the grave of Sir Isaac Newton, the grave of Rutherford, Maxwell, Stephen Hawking, and my dad's favorite scientist, Michael Faraday. Then we went over and saw the rose windows near the back where a lot of other royals were buried. That's Elizabeth I, and that's Mary Queen of Scots. This is C.S. Lewis and Poets' Corner, Robert Browning, George Eliot, Henry James, Lewis Carroll. There were so many. Anthony Trollope and Charles Dickens. We had George Friedrich Handel in the musicians area. We had Chaucer's tomb, and Thomas Hardy, my favorite, and Dr. Johnson. And this is an area, where it's just cool to see. That's James Cook's grave. Then after that, Will and I decided to go to Buckingham Palace on the Princess Diana Memorial Walk. Here we are in front of Buckingham Palace. It was incredibly crowded. You'll be able to see that in the video. We were not surprised in the slightest, but we were slightly overwhelmed by the vast majority of people. After that, we just had fun. Then yesterday, I went to the British Library and got my library card and did some reading. As you can see, the reading rooms were quite beautiful. The British Library houses over 130 million items in their collection, so definitely get a library card if you can. After that, I went to the Sherlock Holmes Museum in Baker Street, 221B Baker Street. Went to Paul's Cafe with Will and Paige and had a nice time. Stay tuned for the last vlog coming up on Thursday. Bye.